seconds remaining.
Hello everybody and welcome, finally, at long last, 2 hours late, to the well actually no, just 1 hour late, to the Learn Dota 2 League
1 hour
Season
late, yeah.
19, Week 1. Today we're taking a look at the Juggling Juggernauts, the TRASHBOAT team, taking on Shenanigans, the Chon team, who really could not think of a good clown name. Yeah, they had to draft Giraffe, who was going to be doing this call with us. But yeah, the Chon team, who despite having despite Shon's Discord name being a literal clown, he really couldn't think of any clown name. US Danny was supposed to be here, but I think he fell asleep at the keyboard or something. So yeah, here we are.
We just 10 minutes of this game and say, am I late, guys?
It's true. So
10 seconds remaining.
most of you don't know this because most of you don't have the replay, but we saw a scrim featuring the Chon team that I thought made them look well above what I think maybe their MMR and maybe even their composition might lead you to believe. Very highly organized team. Losing US Danny might actually change that for the negative, but highly organized team looked really good in practice. See how that goes here. Starting out with a big flurry of bands. Shaman and the Willow are just for Chon and Midget respectively. Knocking out the Dragon Knight because that's just kind of meta. Knocking out the Invoker because that's something Carp plays. Mostly meta bans so far, outside of the Bounty Hunter. Giraffe just doesn't want anybody to be showing him how that's done. Mostly meta so far on the Dire, who's picking up maybe the king of the meta right now, just the absolute biggest, baddest support in the game with Lich. Lich, who single-handedly has more impact than basically any P3 right now. Going to have a small hitch as I tab out to do my little announcement.
Radiant team back.
The good news is Dawnbreaker is now out of this game.
That's true. So now we're down to well, we've also got the Night Stalker banned. We're really just kind of down to Legion Commander at this point. That's the one P3 left.
Legion Commander is atrocious in Pugna, so
yeah,
they
they can't pick
it.
that.
It's not that much better into Lich. It's not like a disastrous into Lich, but you don't
not what you want.
Really like it.
Radiant team pick.
Long consideration to ban out the lane, another very meta support. There's one thing I've learned in the last few weeks as I've been doing my research for this season. This is going to be a very meta-dominated season. I think this is definitely going to be one of the ones where meta is just going to completely stomp out comfort. Like, a bad Dawnbreaker player with Dawnbreaker P3 is going to do better than, like, a P3 player playing a hero they know how to play right now, basically. It's like that kind of thing. At least that's my prediction anyway. I guess it remains to be seen how that goes, but I do think it's going to be like the worst Lich in this season is going to be doing better than like a not a 5k, but like a, 4k baller on like, I don't know, a line or something,
It could play out that way. Nothing's automatic in LD2L,
It's true. Pugna Snapfire, not a bad combination.
It's good. I mean, you can say you want lockdown for Snap, but it's like very easily draftable. It's not like lockdown is something the game is hurting for. So you draft any one of about 20 heroes that would make Snapfire good.
Yeah, it does need some lockdown. You do need to make that happen, but so far that's 2/3 of a really good combo. If you pull up like a Sand King or something along with that, you got some nasty business going on. And they've actually banned out some of the heroes that are better at dealing with that. Picking up the Spectre here for the Coffee Cat.
Alright.
Something I didn't really like when they did it in the scrim, and it's something I don't really like now. You know, Spectre's a really good P1, make no mistake, she's in a really good place at the moment. But I feel like it's almost foolhardy picking a hero that can fall apart, like Spectre can, before you know any of the enemy cores. And not only that, it's kind of bad with the supports they have so far. Like, Pugna can kind of like ignore her for a large part of the game, and make people invulnerable to her. Snapfire, for a while anyway. Snapfire obviously has the cookie, which is not really too great, so it's not like one of those games where you're going to be able to just ult onto a support and get a quick 100-0. Like I think you really kind of ideally want a Spectre, especially this early.
Well, I think Snapfire is food, unless it's protected, but Pugna definitely not.
I mean, what are you going to do to Snapfire? She's just going to eat a cookie and she's gone, you know what I mean?
You just walk at her. I think your Q will slow her down enough that it doesn't matter.
She's also got
Like
a
you
slow
cookie away and then you catch up.
She cookies away, then she shotguns you on the face when she lands, and now you're as slow as she is, and then she walks away.
They're getting decrypt too, so they do have ways to protect it, but they have to. Like Earth Break and throw in spells.
Of course, I guess I should say that is going to be an execution thing for the Snapfire. It's not going to happen by default. Well, that will certainly help the Centaur Warrunner. I'm not huge on the comp so far for Dire. It doesn't really seem to have any kind of theming going on. You've got a Lich, you've only really got one good stun to go along with it. I mean, the Centaur's there too, but that stun is like 2 seconds long and you get one in a team fight, basically. 2 seconds, like, even 2 seconds is much. It's like 1.5 or something. Very short stun, you're going to get one time in a fight. It's really awesome if you get the big 5-man Centaur Q and then the Lich ult comes in and all that, make no mistake. But it's not gonna be something that happens every day. The Ogre Magi, I guess, can hit E on the Spectre. But it feels like, so far, this is just kind of, you know, you've got Centaur for the big team fights, and Lich who can follow up on the big team fights. But you have nobody who can really hang inside the team fight. Like, Centaur hits R, everybody runs at you, and then, like, nobody does any damage, and then Spectre comes in at the very end, maybe to clean up. Maybe. But it's going to be tough to win before then. I mean, I guess Lich is the god support, but...
Mid could tie it all together, I guess.
That's true. That is the key word. It is so far. So far, it's, like, kind of weird, and I don't know where it's going. Like, I don't know why you need a global hero and Centaur. That's just, like, a weird combo. Centaur is great for, you know, heroes that aren't already global, you know. TRASHBOAT team's also a little mixed up, but the Viper has a very clear opportunity to have a very good game here. Antonio?
Alright. So you have... Basically the combo is Tiny goes on someone, like almost kills them, and Spectre kills them. And Centaur is there in case they counter-initiate.
Yeah. Centaur in this game is not going to be doing any initiating himself, I don't think. It's just going to be hit R when everybody else is in, and stomp out on the retreat. Still a bit awkward. It still feels like he kind of sticks out a little bit here. I feel like I really would prefer to see either more stun or somebody who does more damage, or both, potentially, you know, if you like that. More stun or somebody who does more damage. I think Centaur is more of a utility-focused guy.
Choose your hero.
This is a pretty good Lifestealer game.
Yeah, I'm extremely worried if I'm a Centaur right now. Or even a Spectre, for that matter. Like, it's pretty... I don't think Lifestealer is that killable by a Spectre at any point in the game, unless the Leicester is like already so outskilled that it doesn't matter what the matchup is.
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. This has turned into such a rough go of things for the Spectre. I already don't
Granted,
like
you
it into
can't kill
Viper.
her either, but
I don't really like it into the Viper. I think Viper is a pretty nasty hero to be up against the Spectre. You gotta be really good at dodging all of his stuff. And then the Life Stealer is just there to make things a little bit worse. I mean, building Ag's pretty common now on old Mr. Life Stealer. So, you know, that's just one more thing that they can do to mess with you. And you're really so much of this team. I mean, Tiny does a lot of damage for 0.25 seconds in a fight. They don't really have enough to get the Lich ult to be ballin'. You know, they kind of, I think, really needed more of a reliable set of stuns than what they have. They do have stuns, but, you know, again, Centaur, that's like one time per fight, and it's super short. Tiny's going to have a couple more opportunities, but again, very short. Going to be able to throw people into the Lich Ball, at least. So there's that. They're definitely going to be needing some blinks on the old TRASHBOAT team, though. It does definitely feel like they're generally at the mobility disadvantage, especially with that Centaur. Again, mostly going to be a disengaged guy here, I think. But, you know, it's going to be tough to catch, like, the Earth Spirit, for example, even with what they have. I guess
I'm not a fan of the Spectre game.
I guess
The Spectre philosophy going.
There is one caveat to this. I don't think the Pugna is a very experienced Pugna. I think this is Power, who has not got many matches in this game and has got almost no support matches, so at least there's that.
True, but, you know, you learn to press R on people who are getting hit. That's really all you need.
It's true. Then in contrast, you have, like, Will Demand Beats is so far into Viper. It's like, if you ban Viper, you've banned half of Will Demand Beats' games, so it's very surprising that not only did they let it through, they picked a really good Viper match too. Like, the only guy who doesn't hate to see Viper is probably Tony, and even Tony can't really do that much to him for quite a long time into the game. Like, he's not somebody you're killing with the QW combo, you know? And then everybody besides that, it's like, you absolutely hate to see that with the Centaur, you absolutely hate to see that with the Spectre.
The battle begins.
Kinda hate to see with the Ogre, too. I mean, he's a pretty slow, easy target who's going to be, you know, he has a stun, but in that kind of situation, he's going to be relying, I think, on the DPS to dissuade you from still going. And Viper takes, like, no DPS whatsoever from Ignite, so... Like, you take more DPS from Ignite than Viper does, really.
This limits your options, right? Like, as a Spectre, you are looking at the map and you say, who can I kill before a fight starts? So it's a 4v5. Maybe Pugna if he's already used Decrep.
Yeah.
Maybe Snap.
Maybe
If
Snap
she's
if
already used
she's
spells. You just
very
have to wait.
alone,
You have to
yeah.
wait for the supports to use spells, which is already, you don't like that. You'd rather somebody like a Zeus mid who you can just kill whenever you want. And you have like an awkwardly tanky Earth Spirit mid instead. I don't know.
With all that being
Your
said...
pause one is like impossible to kill.
Yeah. With all that being said, it's time for everybody's favorite part of this show, the roll call. Pause 1 on the TRASHBOAT lineup, the Juggling Juggernauts. Okay, Riplich. Pause 1 on the Juggling Juggernauts. You have Grace Jam on the Life Stealer. Pause 2, you have TRASHBOAT, captain of the team, as the Earth Spirit. Pause 3, you have Wildeman Beats on the Viper. Pause 4, you have Jumpman on the Snapfire. Pause 5, you have Power on the Pugna. Hey, I predicted that correctly in my community content. Then on the other side of the coin, for the Chon lineup, Shenanigans. Pause 1, you've got Coffee Cat on the Spectre. Pause 2, you've got Warcarp on the Tiny, getting a little hammered here. Pause 3, you've got G-Ras standing in for US Danny on the Centaur Warrunner. Pause 4, captain of the team, you've got Chon. Getting kind of bullied over here. And pause 5, you've got the Mighty Midget, recent first blood victim on the Lich. Chon is no longer in chat, I noticed. He no longer wants to hear about this. But Dr. Wang Gang is here, shoutouts to him. I will say if there is one major flaw of the Radiance lineup, it's very light on CC, which is pretty annoying against the Centaur. Oh, Lifestealer actually going to take a random dive here. Kind of suddenly went from 100 to 0. Very unfortunate. But
That's a rough one.
yeah, there's quite a limited amount of CC on the Radiant here in general. That I think that would be the big issue of their lineup. I mean, the whole go in with Tiny, do damage, and then exfiltrate with the Centaur Warrunner idea is kind of complicated, and I think it's tough to get it to work in a game that looks like this. But on the other hand, what's really going to stop them? You know, they've got the Snapfire Cookie, which means that her ult isn't really going to mean anything. And, like, that's basically it for a very long time. You've got the, I believe it's Rolling Boulder that does this nowadays. I always have to check with Earth Spirit with all those reworks, but yes, indeed. You've got the Rolling Boulder on the Trash Boat, but I mean, look at that stun duration. That's nothing. Might as well not even be a stun, basically. Or Carp accusing Earth Spirit of not having the stones. Mid was somewhat in kind of an even situation, is kind of favoring Trash Boat now, though Warcarp does get to deny him the range creep and get, I mean, if he wants to, get a free water rune here. Trash Boat very, missed that.
Downtown Scatterblast.
Oh no.
I think it's also dead.
That's kind of horrific.
Mid went downhill after the last wave. Before the last wave was like very heavily favoring Carp in last hits. Now he's lost like 2 waves in a row, essentially. He'll hopefully get this one under the tower. But
Yeah, if there is a bit of good news, I don't think it's quite as important for him to win this wave, win this lane as it is for Trash Boat. You know, it is a very good hero to recover as long as you don't have like a disastrous mid, and so far it's certainly not that. Only 5 last hits down, 5 denies as well. Very specific there. Midget must have forgot what just happened to him.
yeah. Not sure how you play this lane now.
Yeah,
Kind
I think
of
if you're
rough.
Spectre, you're just going to have to find some alternative. It's not happening. You kind of hate to...
You pray for a lane phase end so you can just take
Yeah.
the opposite side of the map where everybody else is. This is what you do.
Jumpman putting some pressure here at mid on the Snapfire. I don't know if Carp really... Okay, Carp doesn't notice it, but nothing actually comes of it, so... They're just going to secure the respective runes, maybe? Nope, not even going to do that. Man, turning around. I guess he's just waiting until the runes. Yep, he's just waiting until 6 minutes. He's going to take, or not take, but he's going to look at an illusion rune. And Trashboat's going to come get it, but not before hammering Carp. Who's... Oh, okay. Jumpman had a full wand there. Hammering Carp, pretty low now, and he missed that rune, so it kind of sucks to be him. He is going to apologize, though. So there's that. Interestingly, Lifestealer kind of down pretty heavily for last hits here. He did have that casual death, but it definitely doesn't feel like it should be this disproportionate at the moment. I guess that's the power of... Power, unfortunately, perhaps favoring... Not favoring, but disfavoring him here. You know, just new to the role. Fairly new to the game as well, so you're going to have to expect that to some degree. Going to use the open wounds on the Centaur, or on the Ogre instead of the Centaur there, interestingly enough. I think that is just Probably. Oh my god, Centaur going all in on Retaliate. Very nice. I guess that would be why. I mean, if Centaur's going to go all in on Retaliate, surely the strategy should be, yeah, just do that, ignore what he's doing.
Oh.
Should be much easier to get last hits. I don't feel like he should be at a 10 last hit deficit, nearly a 10 to 9 deficit as well. Viper going right into the Force Staff.
Okay. Midgets here. Not gonna get the kill on Pugmiller, actually. Interesting. Okay.
TRASHBOAT's going to come in for the retaliation. Going to take out the Ogre Magi. Coffee Cat randomly dies top when they realize Midget's not there. They just run him over.
That's unfortunate.
It's pretty much going to happen. I don't know what they were expecting, if I'm being honest with you. Lifestealer is, yeah, really hesitant to go in on this, but I think should be more than eager right now. Very much favoring him. There goes Power. Power's gone out.
This is just because doesn't see the hero showing mid and assumes Tiny's running here, which is the case.
It's fair, but it's not like you're really committing as Lifestealer. He doesn't have that blink yet, you know. Tiny takes out the Snapfire there. Gets a little bit of money. He's gonna need it at this rate. Curse Spear going for that Blade Mail. It's like a year ago again. Coffee Cat is the new mid laner. They're going to Centaur ult to try and get rid of this Earth Spirit.
Not doing enough damage.
Yeah. Oh man, this is rough.
Oh, die, TRASHBOAT. They're not gonna kill him. Oh, that is a rough one.
And he gets to snipe with the rock on Tiny, and that's that.
Earth Spirit is too good. TRASHBOAT, Earth Spirit, God.
It's true. The absolutely emaciated Spectre and Tiny that had no mana before they even started that probably didn't have a lot to do with that. If you think about it.
No.
Yeah, very good play though on the part of the TRASHBOAT. Does confidently take that 2v1 there until his buddy the Jumpman shows up. Does very confidently take that 2v1, does turn it around for a victory. Just watching these two guys do no damage.
And
yes,
so those are fully camps. That's how that game is going.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I think this might be a very quick lesson on not doing this. You can't pick Spectre here. You cannot pick Spectre this early when it has been screened for with bans, perhaps this poorly. Lich just going to take the most casual Viper ult of his life, going to literally walk it off with the Tranquil Boots and is already basically back at full HP. Fascinating gameplay.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Sometimes you just gotta put the fear of God in him, you know?
I don't think a Fear of God was put into the Mighty Midget. I think that was the Nothing
Probably
of God.
not. I think it's probably just like, what was that? Why is he ulting me?
Good question. Should take a look at the net worth chart. Great day to be an offlaner. Terrible day to be a safe laner, especially if your name is Spectre, who is only doing barely better than the Snapfire net worth-wise. Despite the tragedy that Carb just faced mid, he is really not actually far behind TRASHBOAT. That might change soon. Going to have, well, kill on the P5, so I guess it's not going to change that much, as they're going to run over the T1 top here. So first tower of the game goes down. Radiant takes Dire's top T1.
So,
Carp thinking about doing something about this?
Walking awkwardly close to all this, but he's gonna...
Nope, just gonna take the bounty room and go back to lane.
Yeah, he says, never mind.
They're gonna try and take this bot T1 as recompense, but only gonna batter it. I think the awkward thing for them here is that Lifestealer is kind of going to be a danger at any real part of the game to some extent. Being fatal wounds, being open wounds at an awkward time is just not good, and he can do that again. So, man, kind of swing and miss with his namesake jump there.
Oh,
going to pull in the Centaur ult. It's not quite going to save the Ogre Magi, but it is going to save the Centaur, and that's the important thing. We do have Blade Mail up now on the Earth Spirit. We have Warcarp coming in. He got spotted. Everybody's just going crazy under this T1 bot here. Dire's T1 bot.
Them under their tier 1.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Centaur Warrunner tries to go in. Team is really not ready for it and just kind of goes down around him. Warcarp coming in with a haste rune here.
Play.
I think he really needed to throw that guy behind him to the Ogre Magi, but luckily Spectre's coming in, so it doesn't really matter that much. Spectre very low though.
Oh, TRASHBOAT.
Warcarp throws a man at old Power. Power goes out.
Sick.
TRASHBOAT falls. Warcarp double kill on the Tiny.
Sick play by Carp. Was actually almost a game saving, but
Meanwhile, Viper's just completely rolling over mid, eating everybody in his path.
that's
Warcarp
why I hesitate
apologizes.
because your life stealer doesn't die, Viper who's like owning the game doesn't die. So
Yeah, it's going to be rough when the Viper and the Tiny meet each other for the first time. He's definitely going to have to build something and do something for that eventuality. I mean, I guess the problem is he really almost can't, can he? You know, he is going to be, mostly magic damage for quite a long time, and that's not the type of damage that's good against this man, especially not when he has his 4 levels of corrosive already. Checking out a few facets here, because we didn't really do that at the top of the game, for the most part.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, we got a comment here from JonaBeast27 that says, quote, Chon smells like old socks. Haha, Chon, bottom net worth, stinky egg boy. Your thoughts on this, Randy?
I only heard the very end of that. Thoughts on what?
Dire's middle tower
Oh, the thing that was in chat.
Oh, what was in chat? I'm not reading chat.
Well, to reiterate, I did read it out there. Chon smells like old socks. Haha, Chon, bottom net worth, stinky egg boy.
Can you do about that?
That's a good question. It's no longer true. Mighty Midget is now in last place for net worth after that spill against Viper. They're kind of going after him here, though. 4 men. 4 men in the jungle here looking for
They're gonna go here.
the Viper. They're going to find him. Stun comes out from Centaur. He's going to ult so his friends get here. Really good Lich ult. Gonna come in. Oh my god, such a huge Lich ult. What a disaster. Triple kill for Team Carp here.
Really good.
Not Team Carp, for Team Chon, who is the man himself is now just going to accept his fate and die.
Yeah, you tank that gank, let your team leave.
So that was just a really good turn of events there for the Chon team, for Shenanigans, who just walked away with 2,375 gold out of that, which swung that from a 3k net worth advantage to a less than 1k net worth advantage. Very good Lich ult, very good instincts, I think, on that. Play calling there, perhaps on the part of G-Raff, who seemed to be kind of leading that charge there. Who has himself the horsepower trait and 3 bracers. Interesting. Are people doing that now? You know, back in my day, and by that I mean when this patch came out, you used to get horsepower so you didn't have to get boots. Oh well. Man is fast, that's the important thing.
Wants that little phase boot bonus, I suppose.
It's true.
Maybe he was getting blocked.
Blink onto the Lifestealer here, who is just going to hit Q and walk away. Got in him. If there is going to be one big thing that's going to make this match sad for the Chon team, for Shenanigans, it is, I don't know what stops that, like, ever. Lifestealer hits Q and walks away, like, what are you going to do about that ever?
Abyssal spec. That's about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's not gonna happen in 5 minutes.
Yeah, 90 minutes from now, you'll have that. Spectre going for an Orchid first, really don't think this is a good idea, to be honest with you.
Dire's bottom tower
I understand to some degree why it's trying to get it to help farm on the supports who are, you know, very difficult to kill otherwise just because of their abilities, make no mistake, but I mean, look at this rate of farming, like, build something else.
I mean, I think if you Orchid Viper, he's also pretty miserable, but
Hey,
it's
that
not
is
a bad
true.
Orchid game, you just need a farm item first.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like, the Viper's gonna be pretty miserable, but at this point in the game, like, it's not going to tilt killing him. You either get a 3 or 4v1 situation like you had, or you just don't kill him, right? And, like, the Orchid does not really affect that. You know, the 3 or 4v1 situation is already gonna kill him as it stands. Trash
Yeah,
boat.
and then you're just betting that you can like farm on the kills you're getting with Orchid, and it'll pay itself off.
I think that's a real gamble at this juncture. I think he really would have just even the blade mail, you know, would have preferred even the blade mail to this. Just getting a Manta style next is still not really a farming item. Wants to farm as slow as humanly possible, I guess. It's okay, he's not behind at all.
Illusions and lanes, you know.
Interestingly, I noticed TRASHBOAT is actually starting to fall quite far behind himself. He's, well, I guess he's still 1,000 ahead of the Spectre, who's about to walk onto the lane here and probably die.
But
Dire's middle tower
that's
is
kind
under
of more
attack.
of a statement of the Spectre's game than it is the Earth Spirits, because the Zero literally does not farm.
Big
Speaking of Spectre
initiate
and Earth Spirit,
with the Lifestealer popping out of the
Yeah.
TRASHBOAT.
Dire's
Just
middle
eats
tower is
Spectre.
under attack.
It looks so hard. That's got to be such a morale hit for the Dire, where it's like, you know, I mentioned this when I was talking about the scrim, but I think it's worth mentioning again. A great classic old team the Chon team reminds me of is the last time Carp and Danny were in a lineup together. ED and H, the season 13
going
lineup. Not time for that now. Got a team fight brewing up here at bot. Power kind of standing his ground in the middle of the Lich Hole.
Herp just took an entire
TRASHBOAT.
snap ult and a lot of Viper damage.
Top tower is under attack.
TRASHBOAT takes a pretty quick dive. T-Raf is going to make it out of here, is going to TP. Don't have really anything to stop that. Not a good trade for the Dire, I don't think. I mean, I guess that one kill they got on Snapfire was good, but that's not really the pertinent thing I want to look at right now. You know, it's just like the tale of two trades there. Like, they just go eat Spectre for just clean for free at top, and then the Dire comes in with the Tiny and the Lich, lose both to take just the Earth Spirit. That kind of sucks. Coffee Cat is going to pause the game because this wasn't delayed enough as it stands. If I'm being honest. No mouse. No mouse. No mouse. But damn. But I think the key thing though is at the end of the day, true. Carp is too toxic. I think the key thing here in this game is the ED and H comparison, where the thing the rap I always had with ED and H was that it felt like oh, Midget's mad. It felt like ED and H was pretty consistently outplaying the enemy team, but the outdraft was so bad that it didn't matter. And it kind of feels like that's what we're seeing here as well. Outside of Wildeman, who's putting in a great performance on his signature hero, it feels like TRASHBOAT is kind of struggling a little bit when it's not just a 5-man 5v5 fiesta. The Snapfire feels barely relevant to this game. The Pugna is almost not here at all, right? Lifestealer has got his Radiance now, but still feels pretty behind. But the problem is that it just doesn't feel like it matters, because the Spectre is just such a non-factor in this game. Like, the Spectre is not here, basically. The Spectre is it's too early to say will never be online, but, I mean, it's super rough. And I think the awkward kind of semi to non-chemistry with a 3 and under club compared to the rest of the team, I don't know. Like, you've got a couple of people who are real, like the Ogre, who's really the Tiny, who's really the Spectre, who's really in on going on one guy, and then you have the Centaur and the Lich who want to do the opposite of that and don't really. Neither side participates in the other really. It's just kind of awkward. You don't have a great recipe for success in fights. They've been going well, but it's just because of the coordination factor of the team, which was really strong last time. I think is still really strong this time. Coordination factor of the team is helping them a lot here. I think it's smoke screening some of their draft's weaknesses, but Spectre feels like such an anchor. You just can't pick her that early. I think just period. Not into this team. Not with these kinds of bands. You know, when you've got a guy whose like main hero is Viper, right? Like by far, like over 600 Viper games, and then the next hero I don't even think is 400, right? Like very disproportionately Viper tilt. I don't think you're allowed to do that. Let's look at some inventories, just for fun, while we wait for an unpause.
Oh, I might have fixed that stupid player perspective issue. Nice.
Oh, the Earth Spirit here is about to have the BKB pretty soon. It's gonna be pretty big. Yeah, it's gonna be super big actually. This team has literally no fizz damage. Actually, maybe that was I didn't even really consider that up to now. It's not something you usually say against about a team with a Spectre on it, but like because the Spectre is so far gone, this team has like Tiny's tree throw, and that's like it. Until Tiny gets super buff, like that's all they've got. So this BKB is going to nullify nearly all of Dire's damage at this point, which is going to be a really big power spike for the Air Spirit when it comes out. This is such a every time I click on Spectre's inventory, I just get sad. So
I kind of fixed it. Thank you, Valve, for still having this player perspective bug in the game after 3 years of me complaining about it.
Clearly, you've just got to do so on Reddit.
Yeah.
My ogre has a Hanamitis.
He does.
Lich is about to get hammered here. They're going to try and jump on the Viper. They've even popped
nice
in this. They've popped in this use of the Orchid. They rotated a whole bunch of damage onto the Viper, and that's great and everything. But also, everyone's kind of dying.
Spectre's back and should not be back.
Yeah, Lifestealer has now shown up, and it's 5 for 2.
Okay. Well, can you do about that one?
So you got the Spectre, and that's like great and everything. Not the Spectre. You got the Viper, and that's like great and everything. Don't get me wrong. That's the top net worth core. In fact, top net worth player in the entire game. Only problem is that it was not in any capacity worth everybody, especially when Lifestealer got a decent chunk of that change. Only 433 gold, so it could have been a lot worse, but still felt heavily not worth it. And I feel like feels just a great display of how strong this game is as a Viper game. They literally dropped everything on him. They dropped the Lich ult on him. They dropped the Centaur ult to get in. They dropped the Spectre ult with the Orchid on him. That was how Spectre got the use out of that Orchid. That was how Spectre farmed out of the Orchid. She jumped in a fight to use it on Viper, then jumped out and died anyway. So very awkward. Viper Lifestealer just gonna go ahead and take on Roche. Oh, Wilderman gets the poison attack, the shard. That's good, and knows that you can use it on Roshan. This is actually like the best Roche duo ever, really. TRASHBOAT's coming to watch.
You just take the Aegis, of course.
Brief hitch here as it tags out. Is this Leggy of Legends?
Nope.
No.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I just got a DM. That'll be very interesting to discuss at the end of the game.
Oh, yeah. Giraffe saying, I hate this team, and I personally will report all of them until they get their accounts banned.
Something like that. I mean, one of your players isn't low prio right now, so
That's true. Well, the one who's not here anymore is.
that's true. Well, presumably it could still be Carp.
That's what
Never
happened.
eliminated the possibility.
He queued up. He got into pick phase. He picked the hero, and then he just left. Just went to bed.
This
Why is
Viper.
it low prio?
This Viper. I mean, I guess. If it would be anyone, it would be the guy who mains them. I finally have somebody I'm not complaining about playing this Viper. Just knows exactly what to do. You get the shard, you stand as far away from a tower as you can, or Roche, or whatever objective, and you just lob at it. Gonna pop out here on the Pugna. They're going to try and go all in on the Pugna. I don't know if it's such a great idea. He's going to die. All the ults come out in just mere seconds. Centaur ult completely unsuccessful with the 9-second BKB on the Earth Spirit, who is cleaning up three guys for nothing. That was the aforementioned first BKB power spike. Literally just rolls with the Centaur ult. They can't do anything about him, and he just kills all of them.
TRASHBOAT says good night.
It's true. Not really 100% sure why they're walking away from the T3 bot at this juncture. They've got the numbers advantage and they've got Aegis still. So I say, you know, you've got Viper. If nothing else, you can stay far and just plank at it. Go for it. They're gonna go for the T2 mid instead.
You just get outers so you can have them into their base. Plus, like, TRASHBOAT's pretty low, and he's a lot of your power at the moment.
He has a lot of your power, but I don't know how much of your power you need when there are 3 guys down.
Yeah, but the death timers aren't that long.
It's true, but it's Viper, you know, that Q with the shard, it does a lot to buildings. This poor Spectre, and I mean this literally, it still is struggling to get out of the shadow of the Snapfire. Or Carp trying to go for a BKB of his own on the Tiny. Centaur Warrunner coming in on the side of this go on the Lifestealer. They're trying to triangulate, perfectly timed. But okay, that Blade Mail though, that actually did a lot of damage. The first life on the Lifestealer goes down. That is true. I was about to say Dire is going to have to back out now, but no, TRASHBOAT kind of overextended going into this. This is a big ult from the Jumpman here. Lifestealer gets in a creep and gets out, and Viper is here, so this is looking pretty bad all of a sudden. That was a very bad Viper ult, unfortunately. Just goes on the ledge 1 femtosecond before he dies. So at the end of that, that's TRASHBOAT, that's the Earth Spirit, and the Lifestealer Aegis for the 2 support. So nominally, that's still pretty good for the Dire, all said and done. They're now going to do this Tormentor in like a half a second. Goes down, Pugna takes it for that upgraded Nether Ward life drain thing.
It's good, and it's also a little mentally booming at the same time. It's like those super good Lifestealer go, and like you're still not killing the hero. You killed him one time through Aegis, and then like the second time you could have killed, but then something didn't happen. I don't know.
I just noticed he doesn't even have rage. He has unfettered here, which is interesting.
Or you dispel the stuns, right? So.
Yep. It is interesting because I think the only 2 things in the whole game that can actually kill him are the Lich and the Tiny, and I think even in the most ideal reality for the Dire that's the case. I don't know if I necessarily agree with this choice. Getting out of the stuns is great and everything, but being able to just tank a Lich ult or just the Tiny combo, if you catch it, I think is a lot more valuable if I'm being honest. Could explain some of the... Well, explain the casual death in lane, and though that happened before he leveled it. I want to explain how fast that Aegis dropped. I was like, oh, he actually got the rage off, so he's going to be fine. Nope.
No rage.
Actually kind of makes his matchup into Centaur bad instead of good, because, you know, Centaur has both the Retaliate and the Blade Mail. Retaliate goes through magic immunity, the Blade Mail does not.
Spectre.
Yeah, they're gonna find the Viper just kind of hanging out in the jungle up here.
Okay. That's... might be
Little
game
cocky.
saving.
Little cocky. There's definitely one big thing, and I think something that happened for them in the scrim as well is the up team in the scrim, the Luth team, they got cocky. They started kind of letting guys fall in kills like that, and when that happened, the Chon team did turn it around. So. Carp going to miss the Life Stealer. They really want this guy, but
it's a lot of heroes.
So fast.
Nice toss. Okay, never mind. It's not a nice toss. I take it back.
Life Stealer is gonna get
Would have been the
5.
sickest toss ever if he got him right on the edge.
Life Stealer's gonna try and turn around and go in. I don't know if I necessarily agree with this judgment call. This team is backing him up. They're a little slow. They are going to wait for TRASHBOAT to actually get here to engage. He's going to accidentally click the outpost, yeah.
Unfortunate.
Mighty Midget just dodged like 3 skills. He's got his little thing up, but is going to die before, I mean, it was a bluff anyway. He didn't actually have ult. He was out of mana.
Place everyone back into the base.
That could have been scary for the Dire there, but Midget tanked the gank in proper fashion, just got out of town. I'll say for the record, apologies for the hitch there, I had to check chat again. It is not League of Chon either. Life Stealer is going to get his Abyssal Blade. He's also going to hit Q when somebody uses Ignite on him, which doesn't do anything.
Oh, okay.
In fact, here's a really great example of where that rage would have come in handy, I think.
This game is looking turnable a little bit.
Yeah, it's just kind of the same story as the scrim last time, where you have the Radiant is starting to get very comfortable in their lead, starting to split up a lot more, starting to just take kind of casual losses all of a sudden. Great immediate play there on Jumpman. Literally, like, the frame, Carp popped into vision, he immediately turned and 4-staffed. And so this play in the jungle is over for now.
That's such a Carp ball too. It's like, we killed their Life Stealer, literally smoke and run into their side of the map.
Yep.
Until you find something to kill.
Keep it running. Viper is starting to fall off. He unfortunately had to go for the BKB here, which always sucks. Like, you always want to not build BKB as Viper if you don't have to. You know, being magic immune is great. Make no mistake. But if you would much rather just have something that just does more damage and just be able to tank through things. In fact, if I'm being honest, I'm not 100% sure he needed it here, really.
Mainly it's magic resistance.
Debuff immunity, sir.
Yeah.
They're going to get a whole bunch of TPs out here to the jungle to find the Ogre Magi. And Dire just gonna let the Ogre go.
Yeah, tank the gank.
You know, that was almost a good play. The problem is that they had everyone down there doing that, so they didn't actually waste any time. They wasted everybody's TPs, and they wasted 2 seconds of the TP scroll animation for the guys. I guess Centaur can do this mid-tower now. Bloodthorn finished on the Orchid. This is interesting. Weird little Lich ult coming out on the Life Stealer and the Centaur. Life Stealer kind of melting.
Good God.
The 1v2 though, not one of them. For as good as these team fights have been coordinated up to this point, this was not one of the better ones for the Dire, who just kind of awkwardly filled in, had 2 different fights there they didn't win.
Oh, my Life Stealer almost died again.
Yeah, it was really scary. Even if he had, it still wouldn't have been worth it. That would have been 3 for 2. Instead, it's 3 for 1s. It's just very bad. No appearance from the Spectre at all. Did not have ult in the midst of that.
Yeah, that's a rough one. I think if you Shadow Step the Lifestealer before TRASHBOAT flies in, that's a different fight.
Definitely. I guess with the Lifestealer having that Q, the Orchid's a little bit better on that front. Notably, Viper or Lifestealer not queuing a BKB at this point, so does not see the lack of magic immunity as a, or sorry, debuff immunity as a big deal. Which I think I would disagree with him. Like, the Viper doesn't need it because Viper has that E, makes him really, really tanky. You know, it is useful, it is not useless, but I think it would have been better perhaps to go for a more tangible source of damage to keep pace with these other guys. Viper does not scale very well after all. But that Lifestealer really needs that immunity. Does not have it. Spectre going to try and go in on the Viper here. They're going to get a little scared and actually try to turn off. I think they got kind of fooled. They assumed everyone was here. It was not actually true. Though TRASHBOAT's going to return straight into the midst of this little skirmish.
Viper's dying to Spectre illusions.
This little skirmish with the Earth Spirit and the Lifestealer. Earth Spirit's going to go down. Oh, here comes a big Snapfire Elf. He's going to break things up. Going to try and get the creep to go. Carp, throw the creep! Do something, okay. There we go.
Oh no,
Lifestealer gets greedy, goes in, tries to get the additional kill, just kind of goes down. Giraffe dies to follow, but I mean, that's not really that big of a deal. Jumpman TPs, goes home.
I mean, in the back of this fight, to start, Viper's dying to Spec illusions, so that should tell you how that hero skills.
Yeah. And that was also the 9-second BKB. That was how Viper used the 9-second BKB, was to die. That's unfortunate. You never like to see that. That was the 8 seconds on the War Carp there that let him just walk, on the Tiny, that let him just walk up to the Earth Spirit and just put him in the ground. Now fighting his older brother in the jungle. Can't believe it. You hate to see it. Going for Conda next.
Sibling rivalry.
True, that's why I always cry when we see CM versus Lena. It is starting to feel like the Radiant heroes are falling off. No, most notably the Viper, who, you know, 10 minutes ago...
Gone on here. He's dead immediately.
Alright. 10 minutes ago, this Viper felt 10 feet tall, and now he feels like nothing. TRASHBOAT just going to take the most casual spill of his life. It is not the most ideal. I like that, the Pugna just getting out of there via the portal. It's not nearly as good of a Roche team as the Radiant is. Radiant are not really looking to contest it though.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Your Chon has fallen to the down.
Spectre takes the Aegis. I don't necessarily think she needed that, but hey. It'll help her operate more freely, so that's always a plus.
It's that mental boom, you know? Haven't killed that hero in a long while, she's owning you, and now she has Aegis.
Ogre Magi has a goddamn E-Blade! Okay.
Yeah. This is what I build on Ogre Magi.
Been getting some crazy, crazy Midas procs, I guess. Centaur Warrunner got himself a pipe. Going for a Eternal Shroud next.
Carp-led smoke play here.
Yep, you can always tell he's right up front. Going to find the same person last time they tried doing this. My Spectre, what is she doing? What? Spectre making noise, just gonna casually take out the Snapfire.
If they walked about 3 inches to the right, they would have found Lifestealer.
Or
And
they
the
walked.
game legitimately might have ended.
If they walked 3 inches to the left, they might have found the Earth Spirit, and the game would have still gone on, but it would have been a better kill than that.
Yeah.
I just noticed, Mighty Midget still with that E. coli clan tag
That's
there.
that's E. coli.
It's true.
Friend of the
From,
show, Edward Coli.
From 2 seasons ago, that. Meanwhile, TRASHBOAT represents Witch Doctor. And Grace Chan represents Illness. So Spectre Go just...
And TRASHBOAT is dead immediately again.
And Viper is
Viper's
dead
dead.
immediately
Oh,
again.
okay.
This feels
Game.
awful. What's happening? This shouldn't be
Game
like
might
this.
be a little over. My Spectre's online and kills every hero in the game immediately.
Yeah, this is like... This is the exact same thing as a scrim, it feels like. That the Chon team had a draft disadvantage, but it doesn't really matter because the difference in play is so distinct. I think the build's also doing a lot here. Power going out once more. Poor Pugna. Just every time he shows up, just kind of dies. Doesn't really feel good.
They're getting a little bit of a split. But
Lifestealer is doing a base race here.
oh
this
no!
is not how you want your base race to go.
Poor teams.
They're looking for this stupid creep. They found him.
No, not like this.
And Lifestealer takes another spill there.
The Lifestealer thought that they would just stay and hit Rex. Instead, they did some psychopath play and TP'd 4 people with a Spectre ult.
Yeah, I don't know if that was necessarily worthwhile, if I'm being honest.
To be fair, I wouldn't have expected it either. So
I think I would have preferred, if I'm being honest, to see just Spec go back, and then have everyone else push down the buildings.
Like, how the guy was 1v1ing very easily.
Centaur picking up the haster in here. Gonna take the T2 outer. Man, if the Radiant had taken that bot Rex, or at least the bot T3 when they were still in advantage, it would have been a pretty big moment. They got the Pugna, they got the... Oh no, power! TRASHBOAT getting griefed here. But his Pugna has to pop BKB just try and go home. They do have the Centaur here. He's taking a lot of punishment. BKB coming out on Viper. TRASHBOAT is really in trouble here. He's got no BKB on the Earth Spirit. He's going to go down.
Yeah, unfortunately the pike that saved Viper from being killed by Spec pushed Spec directly into TRASHBOAT, who was trying to flee. Does happen sometimes, you know.
It was kind of like the go at the beginning of the fight where Power tried to split from TRASHBOAT so the ult didn't hit him, and then just went to where TRASHBOAT was rolling. Carp, I think, went in a little deep here. He's going to throw Lifestealer to his friends, but his friends really don't want to meet him.
Alright.
They
Stops a little short of run dive.
They stunned the wrong Lifestealer.
So they get 2 sets of Rex there. They're happy.
Yep. Losing Carp, kind of a big deal, but 2 sets of racks probably worth it at this point. They're establishing a pretty firm lead. I really thought this was going to be like one of those EDH games. I was talking about it earlier, but I think the Radiant really let the lead get to their head. You had some people who were playing really cockily, you had some people who were playing overly conservatively and couldn't keep the lead going. You know, it's a lead is like a nice garden, right? You have to maintain it. It doesn't just stand on its own, right? You have to maintain that lead. And I think the Radiant were doing a few things that were not very lead maintaining, most notably in how they were positioning and trying to take some of their fights. So their build's gonna get the Centaur Shard, which is a pretty good shard still. Maybe a little underrated. Lets the guy do some damage, which is kind of the one thing Centaur doesn't do is damage. So he's got something for that.
So we have an MKB on Spec fairly soon. He was trying to keep buyback available.
It's good. A lot of pings coming out.
Dire are scanning.
It's very rough at this juncture. It feels like Dire has the better pushing team, and they've got the 2 sets of rags, so it's really going to be rough for Radiant.
Yeah, I mean, they do have 1 hour left, so they can lose 2 team fights instead of 1 team fight. In theory.
That is true. They're going to walk into Lifestealer. If Centaur doesn't just hit this wave... Okay, he hit that wave. Never mind. He didn't notice! Lifestealer didn't notice!
Oh, okay. Oh boy.
Lots of pain coming out on the Lifestealer here. He is going to hit Manta. What happened? Oh, he has Ags. He jumped into the Lich. Got his health back. It is a fight reset for him. Viper actually kind of winning in the back here.
We're dying.
Everybody
Spectre's
is fighting
dying.
the Viper goo.
Okay.
Okay.
Game is back on the table, maybe?
Centaur going crazy here.
Oh no!
No, it's fine. Lifestealer got inside of him. His fight is reset again.
It's Centaur versus the world.
He has so much effective HP.
He is,
But not this much. Yep.
Alright.
So yeah, that was the Lifestealer Ags reveal, and what we found out from that fight is that you can't kill Lifestealer anymore, because he can just jump inside you, get all his HP back. He's going to try and cut the wave here mid to try and push before anybody gets back up. That is a quite lofty ambition. He's going to take a Shadow Blade too. Who bought back?
Who bought back? It's a great question.
Earth Spirit did.
Yeah.
Okay, that would probably be another reason why that went so well.
Need 8 more dust engine. Why does he need
Very
8 more
nice.
dust? Oh, I think it's 420.
Ember Spirit finished up the Shiva's Guard.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
People on the Dire coming back up. So it'll be interesting to see if they end up falling for that one again. I think, in particular, Carp is mad I am dying. Me too.
Why not get to 20? His captain's gonna shape him up.
It's not his captain. Chon
not
is
his
the captain
captain,
of this
yeah.
team.
Play caller. Maestro might be play calling.
He might be, but I'm not holding my breath. Lifestealer back at the top of the net worth charts. They're doing the right thing here on the Dire. They're immediately just trying to secure this Roche pit. I think Radiant has figured it out and is now moving themselves to try and contest.
Yeah.
Roche is going to roar the second they start doing this.
Pretty sick. Either team could win, and we're about to have a Roche fight. It's classic LD2L.
They're going to find the jump man here.
Oh,
The support's
TRASHBOAT!
going to die immediately. Spectre takes the Aegis. Which will tear
Pirates
things up
is
pretty
way
bad
too
there.
good.
What?
Okay. This
Um,
is problematic. I guess,
That was a Lich buyback. Okay, there we go. Lich ult comes out.
People are dying all of
Yep.
a sudden.
Viper getting hammered. Everybody fighting in the Viper goo again. Oh, well, Lifestealer is
stunned
quiet,
and dead.
so...
My life is too big.
Because I have Aegis, no Earth Spirit for 100 seconds, and
Yep. No Viper
favorable
either.
creep
He's
wave.
also
Somewhat.
diebacked.
Radiant's middle
Okay, it's not that
tower is under
favorable.
attack.
Somewhat favorable creep wave.
It's favorable everywhere except they needed to be.
That's not very nice.
They're just gonna go for the
they're
kill.
just finishing. They're just ending.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Buyback brigade coming out.
Support.
Immediate
And,
ult
my
from
carry.
the Jumpman.
Has fallen. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Here comes a Life Stealer. Nobody can see him. You gotta silence that man. No, it's too late. Everybody's struggling to deal with the Life Stealer. Viper didn't buy so long that even though that was his dieback, he's back again. So that's kind of awkward. Just buybacks are able to turn them out. Randy
missed that fight
researched
'cause of
Dota
my
2.
internet. What can you do?
Oh. Well, basically, things started strong, but the Viper, even though that was his dieback, hadn't died so long he just bought back again.
What can you do about that? God, I need to fix this player perspective thing after this game. In between games. And raging.
So they just lost the Tiny and the Centaur. They're still struggling hard to deal with the Lifesteal. Notably, I think Spectre was trying to save Orchid there and time it, but just was too late on the draw, and so he was able to jump in. If that silence had come out like sooner, and I don't think it actually ended up coming out at all. If that silence had come out sooner, then that was a dead Lifestealer, that was a dead game. Still bad for the Radiant though. It's like the Aegis got wasted, make no mistake. T4 towers are some of the least useful objectives in the entire game. Really don't help your momentum at all unless you've got megas already. But still got a minute, 2 minutes nearly on the Aegis. Have buybacks on not buybacks, but have their other guys about to respawn. TRASHBOAT flaming in chat again. 20k gold advantage on the Dire, just in large part from all the buybacks. It's not quite like last patch, or last patch we were calling, where you could just buy back 1,000,000 times and just still keep all your money. Like, it really does hurt a lot more to do that here.
Be crazy game. Pretty good start.
Tiny going for strength
You
one.
laid Dagon Solar Crest. I love that.
No such thing as too much.
Yeah, he's building up that Dagon right now. Guess he realized that Lifestealer at this juncture cannot... Well, he's trying to build BKB. I guess he's going to get Blessing for it. Only now is building that BKB up. They're going to watch this top T2 die.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
He is not going to be able to get that BKB up by the time they're
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
doing their business here. They're putting up the Roche's banner, so Radiant now has to come out or face invincible creeps. The Snapfire ult is coming out, maybe not the best timing. Lich putting an ult out in the back lines, doesn't... Oh, takes out the Snapfire, that's one dieback. Gets the kill on the Earth Spirit, who immediately buybacks himself. Aegis expires at kind of an awkward time on the Spectre. Really probably wish that hadn't happened.
Okay.
Spectre in that fight against the Viper just dies instantly. Cannot do that, as it turns out.
The gutsy defense.
Yeah, that's true. TRASHBOAT starting out this season right with a very long defense where his team does nothing but stay in base and kill people over and over. Stop buying back. True. They have no more buybacks on Radiant. Everybody has used it.
Yeah, this is a run down mid and hope for the best situation right here.
Pugnant picks up a Lincoln's.
You know, even if they have buybacks, like, there's no It's no option you have.
Randy is already mad about game length. Probably true.
I'm not mad about it.
Shame. Buyback on Tiny. Very early buyback, actually. The creeps are nowhere near this yet.
They're gonna retreat regardless. Maybe not. I'm thinking about it. Definitely.
TRASHBOAT's just gotta crash this wave, basically. This team's gonna be up in 30, and it's going to be more than 30 till these creeps are close enough to get buyback door. Yeah, but he's playing this right, just to keep the creeps away. Luckily he's got supers in this lane, that makes it easier. Viper, or Lifestealer does have his BKB actually use the 9 in that fight. So it makes him insidiously difficult to actually kill now, for the most part. Because they're not going to be able to stop him from jumping in people, and they cannot win the fight if he does that, basically. Taking it slow here, coming back up, which is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Waiting for Roche, waiting presumably for the 60-minute items to come out.
Giant swing tiny question mark, if that's still in the game.
There you go. Just going for the refresher here. Centaur can get strength blank. I believe he wouldn't have enough
Seeing
of
a
that.
sacred relic on my Spectre. Which is gonna mean only one
It's Nully.
thing.
I just saw the
I guess
Hell
it could
pop
mean
up.
Nully too, the shoe. Damn, no rapier?
I don't know why the Nully. I don't know what's being nullified here. I guess it's the Viper Pike, which is what killed her last time, so it makes sense. We're looking at the Pugna here. They do actually have vision on all this nonsense. They know where he's at. Gonna go all in on the TRASHBOAT, but he's just going to immediately BKB roll out. He's actually going to double his BKB to try and escape, but no Diche. That's a dieback on the TRASHBOAT, who gets tipped for his trouble.
Radiant's
Yeah,
Ancient is
the
under
Vessel Blade.
attack.
Yep. Mighty Midget is the only person who realizes that the, oh no, he doesn't actually. I was going to say, Mighty Midget is the only person who realizes that these barracks are actually not backdoored right now.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
Team is coming in. Again,
Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
doing good here, making it on Radiant to come into them. Immediately just going to drop what they can on the Lifestealer.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen. The Dire now have victory.
Just completely wasted his BKB actually. That's not good. Anyone use BKB on the Dire? Answer is no, so Lifestealer now has to take this fight without BKB. He's just going to kind of walk into it, get hexed. He's dying, he's disarmed, he's gone. Lifestealer's gone, he's buying back though. They're going to try and ignore him the best they can and just finish. He's not trying to let them, but oh my god, look at him die! That's it! Really? A glyph? Are you kidding me?
Well, yeah.
You're going to glyph and then call GG anyway.
GG.
Viper!
Looks at GG.
Come on. Well, that was a very tumultuous game. I think that was just,
That was sick.
so far, I think this is almost the poster child of what a Chon team, what a Shenanigans game looks like. I think this is a bad outdraft. I think there were definitely times in this game where that outdraft really almost bit them in the ass. It got really bad, it got really nasty, it got really scary. But I think the Radiant got complacent with their lead. They started thinking they were 10 feet tall. They just threw a lot of people away at these very crucial times. And as a result, you know, they were up, I think, at one point, like, what, 10K they were? Let's take a look at that. Yeah, they were up over 10K at one point in this game. They ended up throwing that lead away just by losing the wrong people at the wrong time. Just giving an inch, giving an inch, giving an inch, and every time you seem to give this Chon team an inch, they yank. They grab that thing, they pull hard. So, did a very good job with their comeback, and we'll see what happens next time. Oh no, I'm in a lobby.